Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Shanna Mavis of The Coach for Business. Hi, Shanna. How are you?
I'm good, Meg. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know we've been working on this and my whole schedule got all bananas, so I appreciate your flexibility.
No worries. It all works out because I was getting over a cold anyway. So
there we go. That's right.
Yeah. Everything. This is the right time for this.
Yeah. There we go. And we were just talking, everybody, you missed it, but we were talking about the laws of the shaman. And one of those is all about how things happen when they're supposed to happen. So we're just going with the flow, doing whatever the universe tells us to do. So tell our listeners a little bit about the Coach for Business.
Yeah, so it is just a small boutique coaching service. It's me. I was trying to think of something. I'm a big fan of like acronyms. And so I loved, initially I loved myself so much that it was going to be my initials, SCM, consulting, right? And a friend of mine was so gracious to tell me that when she was looking at my company name, she was like, all I see is scam, because her brain automatically filled in that A between the SC and the M. And so I was just like, okay, so now it's time for a change. And so as I was thinking about it, it was really TCB, taking care of business, taking care of business, taking care of business. And so I just kind of went with that, and it was the Coach for Business, but I am not the only coach for business. I focus on seed stage. So it's those early, new and aspiring business owners. I've got an idea. I want to develop this into a business. And so that's where my sweet spot is. And that's where I focus on just helping business owners articulate their visions and then execute through that startup stage.
Oh, I love it. Well, we all need help with that. And you were like a little angel in my life, helping me through some business updates recently. So I really appreciated that. And your expertise is phenomenal. So that was amazing. So how did you get into coaching? Because you were helping me with some other types of things. And so kind of share that, transition.
It has been like an interesting journey. I started out, I think I've always been an entrepreneur. Anyone that starts a business has had that desire for so long. It's always been in the back. I started in high school, right? Typing papers for one of my professors one of my teachers who was going back to school, and I could type well. And so it was like, let me make money that way. So it was more of that side hustle thing that just kind of transitioned from there going into just working as an admin, working my way up through companies. I've been in the mailroom literally at companies as a temp. And then I've been, chief operating officer at companies. So it was really looking at, all of that experience and seeing the way that businesses are formed, different industries. So fast forward to the last full-time job that I had ended in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. And I'd been there for 8 years, and it was one of the most rewarding, but one of the most challenging positions toward the end that I'd been in. And I was ready for a change. And I knew I had some growth that I needed to do. I felt like that was the time that God was working on my pride issue. So after I realized that, I'm not the be all end all. And this isn't my business. It was really, I could take that step back and say, okay, I had so much hope and so much potential for this company. Yet after almost 8 years, I'm ready to walk away and take all of my knowledge, all of my experience with me. What happened? And it was really, I ended up parting on really good terms. But it was after that, I had some time to reflect because the world had shut down. And I started thinking about going into just consulting, working with businesses, because I noticed that there was that mass exodus that was happening elsewhere. People just checked out. I'm at home and you're paying me to sit here and, order from Amazon something that will move my mouse so that you think I'm working. And I just care. And it was just like, but if we cared more, businesses would be more successful. Many of them would have survived the pandemic. And so I was going into that consulting mode. Let me just, see what's going on, go and work with companies. But before I could get that off the ground, there was a lady that I had met, and through a networking event, she contacted me and offered me a seat at the table of her startup. And so I went and I started working with her, and my role kind of transitioned there. But I met someone else through her that was also a startup working with small businesses. And through them, I met another startup owner. And so I'm sitting in these, at these tables, and I was like, okay, so they're all looking to me for, my expertise that's coming from all of the experience that I've had. And they're all startups. So, and this is my jam, right? I'm excited because it's that problem solving. It's the, hey, you don't have to know everything. It's the grace and empathy and understanding that I could provide in such a stressful time in many of their lives, that it was just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So let me just start working with small business owners so that they don't get to that point where they're so overwhelmed and stressed, and they can be excited about this because they've got someone that's on their team that really genuinely cares. And so just kind of
and has that expertise they need. You care and you have knowledge.
And that does make a difference, right? So it is, and having knowledge from so many different areas. I think, I, like you were talking about, I helped you with something different, but I've got the tax experience. I've got the training experience. I've got experience in the financial industry, in the software industry. I went to school for programming. And so it's just really pulling all of that in. But I also have resources, right? So I've met people as a result of doing the Better Your Business show. I've met so many experts, and I've met people like you, and I've met people. So it's just like, oh, I know someone, when I hear someone, okay, I'm struggling with this. Well, I don't know everything. I can't help you with that, but I know someone who can, right?
Yeah.
So it's just bringing that to the table as well. So,
and there's so much value in that, because the local business owner does not have those skill sets. And so just having that, to use the old fashioned term, the Rolodex of the experts that they need to connect with is huge. We do that in our work more from like a home services and, life management perspective. We always share the contact information of local experts, like your plumber and your HVAC, the things that you don't know about your house.
For sure.
That you're going to need. Like, that's kind of similar. And I love it. I love that book, Who Not How.
We were just talking about that. I was at the Business Growth Blueprint meeting, and Cheyenne, she's a financial expert, but she's been just singing the praises of that book. And I was just like, it's so valid though. I don't have to know everything, and I shouldn't be trying to do everything or learn everything. You're never going to have all of the knowledge needed, and the time that you spend learning how to do these things.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why, like, when we connected, I was in that phase. I was getting these tasks off my plate that I have no business doing. And so, I love that. The Who Not How. If anyone out there has not read it yet, and you're a local, especially a business owner, you should check it out. Well, tell us, why do folks like to work with you? There's a lot of business coaches out there. Like, what do you think sets you apart in addition to what we talked about, in addition to you being a resource and having broad experience? What about, your coaching model or program sets you apart?
I am like so much fun to work with. No, a lot of it is the structure, right? So I've got a seed to startup program, and that's what I base all of my coaching on. Whether we actually step by step go through the program, I mentally step by step check through. Hey, have you done this? Do you have a vision for your business? Let's talk about your mission. Let's talk about values, and not from the let me tell the world, or I've got to have it in marketing speak. Tell me what you think. And so it's really those, just taking those foundational steps, but it's the care and concern for the individual and the business that sets me apart from some, because a lot of people will focus on life skills side. Some will focus on business side. And I'm looking at this saying, while you are a separate entity from your business, and I want to make sure that we establish that, you still need to be nurtured. You still need to be cared for. You still need to understand what it means to be the CEO, or is that a role that you should be filling in your company? Founding it and saying, I'm going to run it, two totally different things. And you don't have to have, be in both of those positions. So let's focus on you and growing you and helping you enjoy building that business. It's exciting, and it should be. And so I bring the fun into fundamental, So.
Excellent. I love that. Well, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what's happening seasonally in your business right now. We've just, we're a month into Q2, 1 month in. So what's happening right now, in your business? Are there seasonal things or events coming up that you're a part of? What's going on?
So I formed a joint venture with a company called Business Empire Financial. So I'm still under the Coach for Business umbrella, but everything I do under their umbrella as well. So they had an event, the first ever. It was in March. I plan to do one in Dallas. That's for small business owners in my area. That should be early summer. But we are just, rocking and rolling and growing. Nothing really seasonal per se. People start businesses at all different times. And so I'm just ready. But as things develop, I will be sure and let you know.
Yes, well, definitely. And I'll probably get the memo because I'm a client now too, PEFs. I'm sure I'll get invited. So that's excellent. I'm glad to hear that you're offering all of your coaching under that umbrella, because I didn't know that connection yet. So that's fantastic. I'll probably benefit. And then, so what are you doing for fun? Like when you're not working, what's Shanna up to?
Okay, so Shanna watches way too much TV when she's not working. No, lately I've been watching. A friend of mine turned me on to the First Wives Club, the remake of it.
Oh, yeah.
I've been binging that, and I'm almost finished. I'm mad about season 3 already, and so I'm just like trying to decide whether I want to power through the rest of the episodes. But yeah, I just try to relax and not think about business, because I really enjoy what I do. So for me, it is fun working with business owners and having those conversations and, trying to figure things out and, just seeing the spark. But then it's just like, I knew at one point I was like, okay, I've got to shut down by 7 p.m. And that means, and so the TV will kind of drown out a lot of the, well, if they did this, or if they did that, or if they did, or we could do this. And so, I'll do that. And then I started reading a book when I was in Oregon and, getting back into reading for fun, not business. Cause I, read a lot, but it was, let me just get, even if it's a trashy romance novel or something,
just something different. Not work related. Yeah. I totally get you.
Just to give my brain time to just, enjoy life outside of business.
Well, I love that for you. And I try to do the same. Yeah. Whenever I'm on vacation, I like novels about like witches and wizards and that kind of stuff. So that's always my jam, and I can't put them down. So how can folks get in touch with you if if they're looking for some business coaching or want to learn more about, the collective services from BEF? Like, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So I would say, right now, because Business Empire Financial is so new, I would go that route because likely you're going to talk to me. Mm-hmm. I have my own website, thecoachforbusiness.com. And everything is spelled out, the coach for FOR business. Or you can go to businessempirefinancial.com and take the assessment. And then I'm going to get in touch with you. I'll have a better idea of what your business idea is and all of that. But yeah, either one of those methods will work, and you'll be able to reach me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shanna. I enjoy all of our time together. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.